If you're living within flood-prone communities, especially close to the banks of Ogun River, you may ask yourself how prepared you are for imminent flood overtaking your environment when you least expect. Well, this report is to enable you prepare when water from the Onyo Dam is released.
It's always a sorry sight for residents of Lagos-Ogun border communities when the resultant flood from the opening of the Onyo Dam ensues, a multi-purpose structure within the purview of the Ogun-Osun River Basin Development Authority. At least 22 communities in low-lying areas, including Mile 12, Ketu, Owode, Oronshoki and Bariga, are often overrun by flooding with deaths and damage to property and businesses. In some of the affected areas, canoeing is the transportation of choice to convey residents who are trapped in their various houses.
What we need in this community is all the community. If you can help us, if water comes, it cannot enter village or town. So we want to feed the land to the level that anytime rain comes, we don't want anybody to have a problem.
The flow there is too much inside our community here. So everywhere we just full up for water, so that we are trying to fill our areas so that with sand or at times with filling. So and we are tired of it. At times we are using canoe inside the community like this so that to carry them when we are coming back from market. So that we need help from federal government.
It's worse in communities along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Human and material losses are reported in Isheri North, Arikpo, Magboro and Ibafo areas of Ogun State. These experiences may recur as the Ogun-Osun River Basin Development Authority is set to release a large volume of water from the Onyo dams in the month of September and October.
Last time they opened the flood, it was actually terrible. And most residents relocated from their houses. It affected schools. School children were not able to come to school. Some businesses were actually shut down because of the water. So we are asking the government to please, before they open the dam, if they want to open it for this year, they should find an urgent solution to the water. I think they should bring an expert to evaluate what is on ground and see what solution they can give urgently. Because it won't be good for them to open the water now without them getting a solution to it, because we don't know how it's going to go this time around.
The managing director of the Ogun-Osun River Basin Development Authority, Olufemi Odumosun, explains that water released from this dam is anchored by hydrometeorological information and rainfall patterns. The dam will release an average of 13 to 15 million gallons of water per day.
By September, we are likely to increase the water releases to an average of about 7 to 9 million cubic meters per day, while at the same time preparing for the main flood. I mentioned that the peak of the flood season is always in October. So in October, we intend maximizing the created space in the reservoir. I mentioned that we'll reduce it in August to impound more water and release it at a controlled average rate of 13 to 15 billion cubic meters per day, or less as to allow other major and uncontrolled tributaries to River Ogun to discharge into the sea, So, downstream, there are still other tributaries that enter Ogun River. So we have to take into consideration that those inflows into the will still compound or cause some downstream flow. So we have to regulate how we release, especially in that same October, so as not to create a kind of flood peak downstream. And of course, we also release water to desilt the dam.
While these residents appeal for help, the Lagos state government says the best option for residents is to relocate to higher ground.
I will say that what we are doing is to prepare that there will be no negative impact of the flood incidents. because there's every likelihood that there will be flooding from predictions that we've had. And mind you, it's not as if the dam is doing anything unusual. What they're basically just doing is that the dam has a capacity, but with the new rainfall events taking place up north of Lagos, the dam cannot hold anything in excess of that capacity. So they just have to open their gates and whatever any new inflow just to pass out. And Lagos being the most downstream, will be at the receiving end. So what we're doing at our own end is to ensure that our people that are already domiciled within the low-lying areas of Lagos State have been warned to be on the lookout. There could be flooding, there might be no flooding. It's a probability, but there are predictions that there will be flooding. So we have said for the time, now that we're having some dry spell, people should make relocation plans out of the wetland, because we have gone to live in the wetlands without making any adequate preparation to mitigate the flooding situation. So the resiliency there now is for people to be on the alert. Like we get, information from the Ogun River Basin Development Authority over time in terms of the data of what they are releasing. When we compare it, and we have some river gauges along the Ogun River. So once the stage of the river keeps increasing and increasing, and it gets to any alarm, we will definitely give some heads up to the populace that, hey, the river gauge is increasing right now, this is what is being released, so we need to make those alternative plans, put them into play right now. So that is the kind of awareness that we're going to create.
To mitigate the foreseen flooding of this year, downstream of the Oyo Dam, the Ogun River Basin Authority is asking stakeholders to always monitor the rain forecast in their area so as to have a probable idea of what may likely be the effect on their immediate environment. Oyo Dam is located in Abeokuta North Local Government Area and is 15 kilometers away from the state capital, with a reservoir capacity of 270 million cubic meters covering an approximate area of 40 square kilometers. Oyo Dam serves as a water supply channel to Ogun, its host community, and Lagos, and has an irrigation infrastructure, hydropower generators, and 4 radial gates for flood control and maximum water release during the rainy season.
Taraba State is in the spotlight again. The intensity of the rain in that part of the northeast region has left 4 communities submerged in the past week. Unfortunately, a life was lost.
For the second time within a month, communities within Jalingo, the Taraba state capital, experienced hours of heavy rainfall that results in flooding. Houses, farmlands and other properties are not spared as the flood sweeps through Sabongeri, Nukai, Mayagoi and Ruby settlements. Residents of the affected communities deploy as much strength as they could to salvage their belongings.
At exactly 6 a.m., there was a rainfall, a serious rainfall. So all of a sudden we were here, the place was just flooded. So in between there was a car here that the water moved. Before you know, fences started falling. Even the whole fence of my house was down. Then all of a sudden, some of the things that we were not able to get because of the flood, we just saw guys from nowhere entering the water to pick them up. And when you want to claim your property, they tell you that it's their own. They came, they followed it from elsewhere to pick them. Some of us, even when we were outside, away from the water, some of them came from behind, entering some houses to pick some valuables. There is nothing we can do actually. As you can see, the destruction is enormous and it's something we never planned for. So we're even trying to see how to feed, not even how to fence the house. But we thank God the houses are standing, we still have shelter in our heads.
So I just woke up this morning. My sister called me and said that flood is coming. The water is entering the house. So I started packing some little things like that. Before I know, my fence fall down last event. So the other one is about to fall down. As I see it falling down now, I say, okay, let me just carry my children out. So we take them out. They are there in the neighboring house. So at the time I was trying to bring out some animals. Then I can see that the water is like overflowing, it's entering. So we try to come out.
The volume of water also affects bridges connecting communities, with cracks noted in some sections of the structures. Some residents are of the opinion that the flood could have been averted if there was a good drainage system.
This flood is not from the river, because I'm here over 20 years in this house. That's why I'm telling you this. Because any water from the river side, he has never come to this side. Only the lack of drainage that they didn't arrange it, whereby to flow down to the river.
We don't know what actually is the cause of this problem. We don't know, maybe some individuals or people decided to build houses where the water channel is. So I think that is the major problem of this flood. I don't know what to say. Our government are not helping matters. They need to sensitize people on how to settle. Yes. Sometimes they need to organize, even if it's a seminar or even if it's an awareness program, to create awareness, tell people this is water channel, educate them.
In the course of assessing damages after the July 10th incident in Mayogoi, the chairman of Jalingo local government area, NASIRU BOBOJI, attended to questions bordering on rumors that the flood might have been caused by the release of Kiri Dam in Adamawa State and Labdo Dam in Cameroon.
This regard is not the issue of whether Adamawa State government or Taraba State government, but the government at because it's a diplomatic issue. So I think it is the government at the national level that will engage the relevant authority at the neighboring state, neighboring countries that is so involved in this kind of activity. And whenever necessary, sometimes, dam, you have to give it also. You have to open way for the water to pass. Whenever they are going to do this, let us be communicated. I hope you understand, so that we also sensitize and also move away people that are living close to these areas. So this is just my appeal. So I think in this regard, there is need for the government, especially the national government, the federal government, to ensure that there is a proper collaboration and proactive measures to also predict and also engage the relevant authorities so that appropriate proactive measures will be taken to avert this kind of instances.
During the tour of the affected areas, Governor Darius Ishaku condoles with the family of a 17-year-old boy who lost his life to the flood. He assures of immediate distribution of relief materials to the affected victims, as well as expansion of the drainages to allow for easy flow of water.
We will send them food and some blankets, net and so forth to be able to cushion the suffering of the families. And that is why I decided to come to see for myself.
Governor Ishaku adds that his administration will introduce measures to curb cases of flood, including monthly environmental sanitation exercise.
But the major problem is drainage. Reduce drainage, because the volume of water that is coming is far more than the drainage provided, which is worsened by the dirt that they put in the culvert. This is a major problem. We are going to ask the urban development to provide more buckets, dumping waste buckets to all over across this place that you see. so that children can dump their waste there and not inside the drainage, which is the major problem. Who will solve it?
Just as the Taraba state government is making promises to send relief items and resettle those affected by the overflow, some claim they are yet to receive any assistance.
We did not see anybody that came to our home to capture anything, but based on our leader in the area said there is some people that came to the area but we are not around, and they capture some which we are not around, so our name has not been included inside the people among the people that their name been captured.
For now, victims of the flood are making personal effort to relocate to safer grounds, pending the next step of the government towards providing succor to them.
Welcome back. While some state governments are battling to contain the effect of heavy rainfall on lives and property, in Nasarawa State, the state government is intensifying efforts to reduce the negative impact of erosion with the construction of drainage management systems in 5 flood-prone areas in Lafia, the state's capital.
Environmental degradation is a decade-long challenge that Nasarawa State grapples with. The effect of erosion in the communities is devastating. The capital city, Lafia, is among the worst hit. This is a gully in Kilema area of the metropolis with a history of devastation. The entire area was occupied with houses before it was eroded by storm water. Now it has a very big gully, posing a danger to the lives of the people. Awal still remembers how he lost his grandmother here.
Whenever there's a downpour, our properties are destroyed. Some years back, the water came. It flooded this place. It affected this house. Even my grandmother lost her life. The building crushed her to death. It also affected one of my brother's house.
Succor is in the offing as Governor ABDULLAHI SULE flags off the construction of stormwater drainage management system in Lafia.
Of the flag off of the Lafia town stormwater gully erosion control, which is executed by NUMAP.
The project under the 2020 Nigeria Erosion Watershed Management Project, NUMAP, is approved by the World Bank for environmental and social management to be carried out in 5 affected areas in Lafia, including Kilema, with 1.5 billion naira to be expended. Governor Sule wants the project team to spearhead collaborative efforts with stakeholders.
The state is facing environmental challenges occasioned by mining activities, deforestation, overgrazing, and pollution through indiscriminate waste disposal. It is for this reason that the government embraced the implementation of the NUMAP project in order to safeguard lives and properties which have caused destructions in our dear state. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is pertinent to note that in our determination to address the ugly phenomenon, government in collaboration with NUMAP installed the automated flood early warning system in Umasha, Loko, Rukubi, Tunga, in total Nasarawa, Doma, and our local government areas of the state. This is to detect the impending flood as well as mitigating and forestalling the effects of flood disaster in these areas, which are considered prone to flood. In furtherance to our commitment to address this phenomenon, we are today gathered to witness the flag-off of the Lafia Township Stormwater and Gully Erosion Control, which will be selected areas of Angonungu, Shinge Road, through Bedi Garage, via Rice Mill to Tudung Wada, Tudung Amba, and Gwenkilema, as well as the area behind the palace of the Lafia area. I'm happy to note that the same project is expected to be carried out in some parts of Doma, Kefi, Nasarawa, and total local government areas very soon, inshallah. At this juncture, let me once again appeal to the good people of Nasarawa State, especially the areas that are prone to flood disaster, to take precautionary measures as well as educate ourselves on proper ways of refuse disposal in order to avoid erection of structures along drainage and waterways, which will block free passage of water. These and other preventive measures will go a very long way in ensuring free flow of water in our communities. In the same vein, NUMAP is hereby directed to continue to intensify campaigns and also collaborate with other local government councils to set up monitoring committees in collaboration with the traditional institutions with a view to taking proactive measures towards mitigating the calamity and the inherent devastating effects of the phenomenon. Before I conclude this address, let me particularly call on the communities living in the corridors of gully areas to own the project and cooperate with the contractors in order to mitigate this disaster.
As the state government and concerned organizations exercise the will in tackling this erosion menace, the citizenry is urged to also play its part.
While assuring beneficiaries of these projects of the state steering committees on common commitments to ensure that the good quality work is done, I also call on you to imbibe the habit of keeping your environment clean and disease from throwing waste into waterways. If you want to have a maximum benefit of the project, people should also desist from erecting buildings on waterways.
47 million naira is to be disbursed as compensation to victims of erosion. This gesture is received with appreciation.
If there is anything that the people of Lafia have all the time continuously had been yearning for, is to see this day how this old town can be salvaged from acts that is not one of simply man-made, but some of them are natural cause. The issue of erosion in Lafia is one of those places that are really prone to erosion, and some of those places affected are really deadly. They are ones that some of us were born, we met, nothing could be done or had been done about. We continue to live with. Some might even die and live there. But today, Your Excellency, it is difficult to select words to say thank you to you, your deputy, and your team, the new MAF, and all of them that have this responsibility to do this for us.
Equipment and materials are handy to be moved to site, as the contractors promise completion in 4 months. The Nasarawa state government promises the commencement of similar project in Doma, Kefi, Nasarawa and Toto local government areas.
Eyewitness Report enables you to tell your story with your pictures and videos. Simply post them on the Eyewitness portal via the Channels TV app, which you can download from the various app stores online. It's time to see some of the pictures you sent in for the week.
The first eyewitness video on these segments of the program shows officials of the Lagos State New Town Development Authority pulling down shanties in Lekki Peninsula Scheme 2. The dislodgement is a way of sanitizing the environment and restoring law and order in the area. The eyewitness reporter says the enforcement was carried out after the expiration of removal notices to all owners of makeshift structures, shanties, kiosks, and vehicles.
If you are flying my road, you should be able to collect the road for me. Yes.
In the next video, the eyewitness reporter captures residents of ABDULLAHI in Ogun State protesting over the state of the ABDULLAHI Ijoko Road. The residents allege that the untarred and dilapidated road, which is regularly plied by articulated vehicles belonging to the China Civil Engineering Construction Corporation in the ongoing railway project, had gone worse. They are appealing to the Ogun State government to come to their aid by fixing the road. Finally, in these pictures are 2 spots that look like refuse dump on both sides of a road. According to the reporter, the ditches were dug to serve as drainage for the free flow of water at an intersection at Giwa in Lagos Island. They have become death traps for innocent school children and unsuspecting commercial motorcycle operators. The sender of the pictures is asking the local authorities to fix them.
Thank you for sharing those images with us. Looking forward to more from you. That's the show for this week. Thanks for watching. I am Yomi Otaigwe.